All
We
right.
don't have to sweat it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It was a little improvised.
It's
So.
extremely improvised. All the
Yeah, I guess.
best. All the best of anything.
Hey everyone, it's me, Chia Sweater, and I'm here with Frostyn,
What's up?
musician. Other thing. How about you describe yourself?
You did
I
a
don't want
musician, comma other things. This is great.
to. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna talk about his newest album, Live 24/7, Doing Well HD 4K, which is a very interesting album name.
I think that might be the
How
first time I've ever heard that said out loud.
said out
Yeah,
loud?
by
Did
anyone.
I say it right?
No, but it's fine.
Well, how am I supposed to say it?
It can't be pronounced because it's only like those playlists that you would come across on YouTube. You know,
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was
it's
like
not meant to be said out loud. It's meant to be found in the middle of the night on YouTube and looked at, and then it doesn't. You can't see the whole thing, so it goes, doing what ... and then you don't get to see the
It was a very specific feeling that evokes. Okay, I figured that was where. Is that the same with the sad songs playlist that will make you cry?
Oh, the one that was on
4K.
Spot. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's all that.
Yeah.
It's from that same
I-
just feeling of like being up really late at night and being on YouTube and finding a playlist of just really not good songs, but like they're really sad and like perfect, like with like an anime picture or whatever,
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
type of thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask about that, so that was a good segue.
I was gonna ask, I guess, before. This is so weird because it's since it's not streaming, it's just the two of us talking, but we know there's other people, so it's so weird being like, "Hi everyone, what's up?" when it's just the two of us. But,
Right. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you want to do this, we want to do this track by track. Do we want to like
That's what I was.
play the songs, or do we want to like after the fact? Do we want to sort of like cut it, and do you want the songs in it, or do we want to play the songs, or should we just talk through it?
Well, I was thinking, since one of us is gonna be editing it, I would think maybe if we wanted the songs to be playing, it'd be like it'd be edited in post.
Totally.
But that's not like 100% necessary for me.
Cool. That
Because
sounds
a
good.
lot of times when people talk about albums and stuff, just not always the music's playing in the background.
People can listen to it themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And this is for the fans.
That's right.
All right. Okay, but speaking of the sad songs playlist, if you're ready to.
Sure. Let's
Commence.
dive right in.
Okay.
The pleasantries are
So
done.
speaking of the sad songs playlist, this first song, "Everybody Likes Me," was previously released on SoundCloud. And about this song, I just want to ask, what is it about? Like, what inspired "Everybody Likes Me"?
Yeah, I think it was because everyone fucking likes me, and I was just like, shit. I think it kind of was that to an extent. I mean, the boring. I wrote this song probably in like January of this year, so I think it's the oldest one of all of these songs on the album. And as with most of the songs I write, all the lyrics and stuff, it's sort of the first time through is just improvised, and then I sort of cut it out from there. So the line "Everybody Likes Me," singing that over and over again, just like happened when I was sat down and singing and trying to figure out what it was. I think in hindsight, looking back on it, because after everyone got fired because coronavirus happened, and I still have to work, I still have a job, and so you got fired when coronavirus happened and rehired. And I think when I got rehired at this new job I was working, I had this realization that everybody at this job really liked me and got along and thought I was really good at the job. And I found that kind of like frightening in a way, and sort of like paralyzing for some reason, in the way that, like, if you feel like if you're good at something, it's kind of harder to let go of it. You know, people are always like, oh, wow, we're so glad you're here, thanks for being here. So there's like a weird pressure, at least in a professional environment, from everybody liking you and wanting you around in that way. And I think it kind of goes, it just sort of goes around all that type of stuff, where it's like the pressure that comes from people in some environment liking you and you feeling kind of bummed about that. I don't know if that makes any sense. But to me, that, like,
I mean, it's kind of like, like high expectations, it's high pressure. Something like that.
It's in that vein. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's all it just kind of happens when the song gets written. But I think thinking back on it, that's like kind of what it was getting at, was the feeling of like everybody, it's like the introvert extrovert thing, where it's like you're introverted but you're good at socializing. So it's like when you're socializing, you still feel that introverted kind of like loneliness, if you will, even though everyone around you is like, satisfied with your the way in which you're engaging in the gathering or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, now I know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that comes across or doesn't come across, but that to me, when I hear it, that there's sort of there's like a sadness to the chorus, even though obviously you're singing about everybody likes me all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's more mellowed out, so it's more like everybody likes me instead of like everybody likes me. So yeah. And then the next song is If You Stay, which you released this one as a single. I'm a huge fan of this song. I think it's really good.
Me too.
It grew on me,
a
lot.
Thank you.
No problem.
It's grown on you.
So
you didn't like it at first.
What? I mean, I did not like it at first, but I just was like, this is all right.
Sure,
but then I started listening to it more, and I was like, oh my god, I love this song.
What was the thing? Like, what little details stuck out to you that kind of like made it more than just like, oh, this is fine? Like, what little things got you?
Well, I always liked the way you messed with Reese's vocals on the chorus. I thought that sounds really cool, and you did that to your own vocals later on in the song.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
Reese Frank,
I thought that
of course,
was really
by
cool.
the way, just so people know.
Right.
Reese Frank.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, right. I didn't even think to say.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, and I don't know. I started listening to it more, and I guess it made me feel more like comfy. It was more like the song makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And the chorus also is very well written. I don't know which one of y'all wrote the chorus. I don't know if you wrote the chorus or if Reese did.
Who knows?
But it was that part is really good. I've always thought that part was really good.
I feel like it's a good hook, and I feel like the way that Reese's voice sounds on it is just like if you could hear the version where the vocals aren't all messed up. There's a version out there that originally, when it was just Reese singing it over it was just acoustic guitar, and it was slower, because speeding it up gave the voice that sort of lo-fi hip hop, whatever kind of a thing. But if you could hear that version, that was before this version where it was just the guitar and Reese singing over it, it's like, so it's something.
You should make a deluxe edition.
Yeah, I'm sure someday that'll come out in some way.
Cool. Well, what I was going to ask about If You Stay is how did the collaboration with Reese come about? How did that happen?
I think it really, and you could ask them about this. Of course, I think that they would have a different perspective on it. But for me, I think all that happens is if I'm in a zone where I'm feeling just super creative, I tend to want to get everything done right that second. I don't like to have things drawn out, and whatever ideas come up, I just want to do the whole thing right then. So I was working on this beat thing, and it just popped into my head because I think we were Snapchatting or something. We were just talking about music or talking about something, And I was like, hey, I'm working on this song. You should sing on it. Here it is. Do it and send it back to me in 10 minutes or whatever. I was just like, we're doing it right now. Like, no, nothing. And they did. And it was just like that quick. It was like, because, they were there while that burst was going on. They just got zoomed up in the whirlwind. And I feel like to their credit, it was, they didn't hem and haw about it. They were just like, done. I'm here for it, and it just happened. So it was fantastic to have that all just sort of click into place.
It was really cool. That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Just kind of like caught up in the tornado
Right.
there. Well, I think it was a really good contribution. I think they did a great job.
Agreed.
So
I'll relay the message, though.
Too.
I'm sure that they will hear this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Oh, and then we were talking about this earlier, but the way the song, it doesn't sound like super depressing when you listen to it, but when you pay attention to the lyrics, it's a little bit of a downer,
Sure,
you
yeah.
know. So it kind of like sneaks up on you. Is that like an effect that you were going for, or is that just like something that happened that was just cool?
I think for me, I'm just going to make sure the camera's still recording, but I'm going to keep talking.
Oh
For
yeah,
me,
don't worry.
Nice. It's perfect.
It's still okay. Good. I have mine on the front-facing camera so I can see when
now that
stops.
would have been a smart idea. I'll just keep standing. I guess the microphone's mobile, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I think what I was surprised about is when I put the song out, and there were a couple people who messaged me and were like, "Oh, this song is like chill and cozy," because for me, it was always a depressing song. So to see people like listen to it and say, it's chill, it's cute, it's kind of cute. I heard that after they said that, and I listened to it. I was like, oh, it is cute. It is cozy. It is kind of like snuggling up with someone that you and your crush are sort of chilling, doing this, that, and the other. But going into it, for me, I think when I wrote it, I always kind of heard it as sort of this more, desperate kind of a thing. But maybe, like you said, maybe that's something that sneaks up on you, I guess, when you hear the verses or something more, and then you kind of like get that new perspective. Because now when I listen to the chorus, I'm like, oh, this is like kind of cute. This is like adorable. This is like a cute little love song. So I guess I'm getting a new perspective on it as time goes on too,
Yeah. I think it's mostly the verses that made me realize it. Like when I started listening to them, I was like, oh.
Right.
Kid's
fucked
up. But no, I think that adds to it though, because it's kind of sad, but then at the end of the day, it's a little cute at the same time, and that's what life is all about.
It's kind of sad, but it's a little cute at the same time. It's about right.
Exactly. Okay. So then we have Make Outside With You Tonight, which this song, compared to the other two, it's faster paced. It's a little denser. It has more to it. And it's kind of like a burst of action in the middle of like a calmer environment. So was this how like the song was supposed to sound like from the beginning? Like was that just like how the whole... Because when I saw the title, I thought it'd be a little more down tempo. I guess I don't know why,
right.
But
I think maybe we've spoken to just with the other two songs. I do tend to write music really, really quickly, which is to say that from the moment that I start to the moment that at least it's done, and then I would have to start mixing it, is usually within the same day. And this one was even quick on that scale. This was like just 6 or 7 hours of just like a guitar, and I don't remember what I was doing that day. I don't remember why I was so in whatever mood that the song is, but it happened really quick, so I don't know if I'm intended it. There wasn't time for it to be like in intention and then an execution. I didn't think about it at all. It just kind of was just like, it was like a sneeze, it just kind of happened. But I really like songs that I make really fast. I find that those songs, they they feel more right to me, I think, because I have less time to worry about, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. So it just kind of it's just kind of an old sneeze, some sort of bodily, instantaneous burst. That's all it was.
All right, otherwise more colloquially known as a sneeze.
Sure, yeah, that's
Sorry,
I went off somewhere else. Sneeze is what I meant to say. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Do you like that song? I was curious because I feel like it's messier, but it kind of sounds like, there's sort of like a 80s sort of maybe like the Curie, Smithsy kind of something. How do you feel about it, since I know that you like the stuff that doesn't sound like that also, but it kind of has an I got no internet sort of messy, and I know that you like that, but like where do you sit on it right now? Because I'm sure you'll love it eventually, of course.
Right.
But where are you at it right now?
I don't know. Honestly, right now, it's probably my least favorite on the album.
I kind of assumed so.
I don't know. I guess it just didn't hit me.
Yeah.
But it will. It'll hit me in the head soon.
Yeah, it will.
And I'll be like...
Yeah, suddenly it'll be the greatest song on the album for you.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You can hate it. That's totally fine. I could not care less. I mean, I want you to like it, obviously, but don't,
Right.
You're fine.
I mean, I don't hate it, for sure. I can listen to it, but I guess it's just the least good. Maybe not the worst, but the least good.
It's the worst. That's
for
fine.
me right now. No, I wouldn't say that. So after that is Used to It, which was also on the Sad Songs playlist. It had a different name. It was I Knew You Before, which is I as in like I, as in like I've been eyeing you and I don't need to know you. But I didn't write a question for that one either.
You just reminded me that I forgot that was supposed to be the name of it, because it was Used to It first, and I when I named it, I Knew You Before, because I wanted to have something with I in the name, just like I. Yeah. But I guess I forgot. Oh well.
Oh, I thought that was an intentional thing.
Yeah, it was. It totally was.
Okay.
This is what happens when you have to work all the time. You forget things, you come home, you're just exhausted, and you hit publish, and suddenly there's music out.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way of... I mean, you mentioned that that's kind of like the ideal situation for you, is having a full-time job and not having a whole lot of time to work on music.
Right, yeah, exactly. I think that it does sort of feel like cheating when you hear about people who are like, these fucking people who are... you got to stop me if I go too far here, but just these fucking people who are like, oh, we spent an entire day trying to get the snare drum to sound good. Shut up. Stop. Jesus. What the fuck? Who has that time? What kind of bourgeoisie fucking like spent a whole ass day getting a snare drum right kind of crap? I hate that stuff so much. So I feel like if you can't make your music while holding down a full-time job, it's like kind of cheating. Again, not that you should have to hold down a full-time job, because like capitalism, see you later. But
yeah,
the idea that like, because that kind of means your music isn't relevant, It's like, well, who are you writing this music for? You're not writing it for everyday people. If you don't understand that situation, and that situation is you don't get time to spend a whole day trying to get a sound right. If you have to work, if you don't have health insurance, if you got no internet, if you're wishing about fucking robot doctor type shit, like, yeah, how are you going to be relevant if you've got that kind of time? So I guess that's all that I was getting at with that.
Okay. Well, I guess that. Well, look, I'm glad that we talked about that, because I didn't have a question for that song.
There you go.
So
see, I told you. You're gonna sail through this whole thing. You could have wrote no questions. You would have been fine.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so then there's I'm sick of going to freaking work.
Sure.
Which of course is not the actual title of the song, but
this is YouTube. You say what you want, but I respect the restraint.
I mean, I don't know, but all I wrote was higher tempo. That's all I could think of for that one.
It is, yeah.
Which it is a higher tempo. It's probably, I think maybe Make Outside With You Tonight is the fastest one on the album. I don't know. You made the songs. You probably know the BPM.
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, I think it's either that one or I'm sick of going to work. That is the higher tempo one. So I guess the hot button question is: are you sick of going to freaking work?
I love it. I'm into it, and I swear, that's my
What
favorite
is
thing was work.
what is work right
I'm not
now?
gonna tell you that.
Okay, that's fair.
It's food service, though. It's food service related. So
Okay.
it's
That's more what I was
coronavirus
asking.
central.
Just a general thing.
It's what that it should
Yeah.
is, but I don't wanna get myself in any trouble or anything.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Not with you,
Okay.
not with you guys and you who are watching it or anyone. Like not with any of you, but with
That you
my
work.
employer.
Yeah. That's fair. I didn't think about
I'm
that.
no snitch.
Okay. So, on the record, Frostyn is not sick of going to work. Absolutely not. Okay.
Definitely, absolutely, totally not.
Okay, so then there's I Just Missed That You Made Me Feel Alright. That's the instrumental
Sure.
song, similar to Divided on AirPods. Is that going to be do you know if there's going to be like a recurring thing? Because I kind of like it. Both of those songs are my favorites. Well, actually, If You Stay is my favorite. But both of those are my favorite new songs from their respective projects. So
Divided happened because back in like 2011 to 2013, I made a bunch of songs that were kind of like progressive house, EDM, instrumental type things. And so Divided was one of those. That song is from years and years and years and years ago. I cleaned it up and did a bunch of little funky stuff to it, but that's like old stuff. And I kind of like the idea of having a place to put some of those because there's like probably 40 or 50 of those songs that are just done sitting on my hard drive. And I wanted a place to put them. This one on this album, I knew I wanted to put an instrumental on, but then I wrote this just this year, so it's not one of the old ones, but it follows in that same tradition, So I think there's probably a good chance that instrumental songs will continue to be a thing going forward, if there is a forward, whatever that means.
Well, that's exciting. I like the especially now that I know that the last one was older. That one's really good. Divided.
Yeah,
I like that song a lot.
That's good to know that. I got a lot of those types of things, and I do really like that whole vibe a lot. So.
Yeah. And what I wrote, I don't know why I keep saying that, but the song, it reminds me a lot of, maybe not a lot, but it reminds me of like your older music, like especially it's kind of gives me the vibe of like a more well produced like Dock of Love song. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's how it feels to me. And so it sets it apart from some of the other songs because the other songs feel more like this Frostyn, like AirPods,
sure,
I Can't, all that kind of stuff, which
there's a little bit of that kind of like clunky heaviness to this song that like Dock of Love had, like a Panic kind of a the drum sound on it. It's got that weightiness and that sort of like not amateurishness, but like there's just a sound to Dock of Love that I think is definitely in there for sure in that song.
I think the guitar also, it has the same guitar from a lot of the 100%. Songs.
I don't know if you knew there was a song that I put out for like a week on YouTube a long time ago called I put out two. There was one called The Bus and one called I Got All Night. And it was like that kind of a thing. So judging by the way you're looking at me right now, I'm guessing you don't know that. But it was I think it was on Bandcamp for like a month, and it was on YouTube for like a week, and there was a video, and it's got like this exact type of sound and guitar sound and stuff like that. So it's there's definitely a through line there, as far as like older versus newer.
Cool. Well, my friend who showed me music probably knows the songs that you referred to.
Wow.
Because
I
he's been listening
guess
for
that's
a minute.
Quiz. That's we'll see. Who's
We'll
the
see.
biggers? Who knows more? We'll find out.
Oh, he's definitely a bigger Frostyn fan than I am.
Oh well.
You've
admitted it, yeah.
But he got me into this, and now Jesus, my phone.
See ya. I guess we're not gonna. Yeah,
it's gonna look so stupid on the video.
As long as it's still recording, tell you what.
It is still recording, but oh my God, stop! Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, and then trying to remember who's not here. That one is also one of my favorites. Mostly because that one was probably that's like the most emotional response I've gotten. Like not emotional because a lot of your songs make me feel like happy emotions, but I've never felt as sad listening to any of your songs than I did trying to remember who's not here when I listened to the lyrics. Because I don't know if like is that song like inspired by anything in real?
Definitely. It's
Okay.
that song I wrote also this year. I guess that yeah, every single song on this was written this year. But I mean, you could hear the types of things that it's about, right? It's about like
Right.
how death is and how you deal with people dying, and also like the ways that we try to stay connected to those people in 2020. When you're on Instagram or you're going on
Yeah, that
TikTok or you're
Instagram part
posting on like
really.
that, the way that death relates to you on like a minute to minute, hour to hour level in this year, when um, you're not going to funerals necessarily because there's the whole pandemic situation, but also
Right.
there's people like to. It's I think part of it is there were people whose Facebook profiles I had seen, people who I knew who had died this year, died last year, whose Facebook profiles, and you just see this like dead person on Facebook. It's like
Yeah.
it's so weird. And like
Yeah.
every year people come around and you post on their wall and say like I miss you, like it's like a gravestone that you would go and put flowers on, but controlled by Mark Zuckerberg. And it's like then Facebook knew that was a thing, and now if you
Oh
go to
yeah.
a
So then
dead
they did the
person's and
memorializing.
that's just so
Yeah.
weird to me that
Yeah.
that it, so it's just a confluence of like obviously the things that everyone goes through when you deal with people dying, but also like specifically how that feels this year,
Now.
now and
Yeah.
like in these 2012, 2013, 2020 kind of a
Yeah.
smartphone type times. It's different. So
Yeah, and that's definitely that tracks. I definitely felt that with the song. It hit on a personal level.
Good,
So
good. I mean, I don't
props for
want
that.
you to be sad, but like, good. I'm glad that that's relatable.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably why it was one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorites. And then Doing Well, which is his last song on the album. This one, I noticed that it's kind of a fan favorite. A lot of people have been saying Doing Well is their favorite. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know. If you've been keeping track, I think I've seen a lot of people saying Doing Well is at least one of
Yeah,
their favorites.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorites as well. So I'm in the majority there. But was it like? Did you like? Is it on the tail? Like what it made it so that you put like a more upbeat song on like the tail end of this album with relatively sad songs? Is that like a conscious decision? Did it just kind of happen?
As far as like sequencing, usually what I'll do is I'll get all the songs that I have and I'll put them on my phone and I'll put them in a playlist, because in a playlist you can drag them around and like move them however you want.
Oh
And I'll
yeah.
just put them in an order, and then I'll like go out and go for a walk, or I'll go for a drive or whatever, go for a bike ride, and just put them on and kind of listen through them. And I think pretty early on, I knew that I wanted Doing Well to be the last song, because it did sort of encapsulate. And this was before I knew what the album title was going to be, which obviously has Doing Well in the title. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It just felt like a really good encapsulation of how this whole year has felt, because it is upbeat, but it's kind of like Everybody Likes Me. There's a certain like fakeness to it to me. It's like there's a
Right.
certain like, you know, read between the lines. I've been doing well, okay, but like, let's hear how this is actually sounding, kind of a thing. You could read the lyrics on paper and it looks one way, and then you can listen to the song and it looks another way. So it just kind of felt like a good, complete picture of how I feel like 2020 has felt for me. and because it was loud, I guess it's good to have loud. I don't like when people end albums with really bummer songs. I know it's the thing you can do, but it's nice when things end loudly. So yeah, I think that was always solidified. The rest of the album, pretty early on, I decided that Everybody Likes Me would be the first song. Well, but then there was other songs that I had written that were initially going to be the opening songs that are just now nowhere, that are just on my computer. And initially, I'm Sick of Going to Fucking Work was going to be song 2. So, things just get moved around depending on how I was feeling. And then eventually it was at the point where if I didn't upload it, it wasn't going to get to Spotify in time. So I just had to cut it and release it. That's literally how the sequencing came about. So I listen to it and I go, that's not right. I shouldn't have had If You Stay as track 2, but whatever. What are you going to do? It has to get done sometime, right?
Right. Okay. Well, that's cool though that those two were like always. Well, I guess Everybody Likes Me wasn't always the. It was
early though, yeah. But Doing Well was pretty much always like that. That's
always the last
what other one would you put at the end? I guess you could put the really sad one right at the end. I guess if you wanted to go out on that.
No, I feel like Doing Well is a last song for sure. Yeah. I feel like it'd be either that or maybe for me it'd be either that or If You Stay. That would be like. But probably that. Doing Well would be it. But If You Stay, I feel like is like mellowed out. It sounds like it could be a good outro song.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah,
well, I mean, how you do music. You know how you feel flow, and like when the flow hits, it's like okay, that just feels right now. And if you listen to it tomorrow, it's not going to feel right anymore. But it feels right now. So cut it, send it. That's all you can do. So it's just how it works.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, yeah. So, I guess this isn't a super important question, but the album cover. So this was also the. Oh my God.
See you later.
This is also. This is also the cover for Sad Song. Well, it's kind of also the cover for Sad Songs.
Yeah,
I think it's the same picture, but with different text at the bottom. This one looks, it looks cleaner. It has the text like along the side of the window, and the picture's more saturated and stuff. What, where did that picture come from? Did you just like take it one day?
Took a picture. Yeah,
this is cool.
I was looking out the window at a sunset, and the sunsets here in New Orleans are really pretty. And I was just sitting there, and I turned the exposure down so that everything was dark aside from the thing, and snapped it. And that's when I decided that I needed to make an album, is because I saw that picture and I was like, that for me, that's an album cover right there. Like that's it.
Oh.
So then I think the only song when I took that picture was Everybody Likes Me, and then I saw that picture and I was like, well, it's time to make an album now because I have a cover, So.
Oh, Jesus, I was gonna ask a question. Really? Oh yeah, when did you take that picture? Like, do you know about the time frame in which you did that?
No, I can't remember. I could look on my phone, obviously, and see because it's just a picture on my phone. But the phone is currently recording my face.
Yeah, we're recording the
it was probably like June, maybe May or June.
Okay.
So all the rest of the songs on the album were written between like May,
June, and
because I think I did AirPods in May, and all of AirPods was written in like March, April, May, and then so maybe this picture was from, I don't know, like probably June. That'd be my guess. It's June. I'm gonna look and it's gonna say like, oh, it was in February or something, but whatever. Oh well.
Okay. Well. Also. So you had, whenever you released AirPods, you said, this is these, what was it, 4 or 5 songs?
Yeah.
And one of them was going to be on an album. And I think the album was I Can't, right? Was that what that was?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Okay. Did something happen to that?
No, I did that. See, I was wondering if you were going to ask about this, because so I think part of the same thing, part of my brain that makes me get really impatient with wanting to get songs done really fast also means that when I come up with an idea, because literally the same thing happened with I Can't, which is I put that picture together and I tweeted it. I tweeted
Oh.
that little picture with the little thing, and someone said that should be an album cover, and I was like, you're totally right. So I wrote an album. I wrote the album I Can't, which had Everybody Likes Me on it, and whatever the hell that song is from AirPods.
I think I was. I don't need to.
Yeah,
know
I Don't
you.
Need to Know You. So
Yeah.
it had those two, but then it had 8 other songs, just new songs that were on this album I Can't. And so I finished that, but then all this coronavirus stuff happened, and I got all I was like, oh shit, is this what? And time went on, and I was still thinking about how I want to put that out at some point. But then I took that other picture, and I was like, that's a new album. So then I made this one instead. So will the I Can't stuff ever come out? I don't know. Because I tend to overpromise and underdeliver. That's sort of the MO. It is a nice idea, but it just rapidly becomes very. It loses its relevance when I wait too long, which that's you know how that is. It's like you want to write stuff that feels true and that feels relevant, and when you wait 6 months after that initial burst, you're like, I'm not really in that mindset anymore, so it feels weird to put this out. So I have it. It's done. I mean, I could probably mix it better, but I have it. It's done. It's on my computer, but I just I didn't end up putting that one out.
Okay.
So I'm sure
it's good that
I'll use the album cover again for sure, because I still really like
good.
that
Thank
cover.
God.
I think that
love
cover
that
is
album
great.
cover. That's the one with you holding the hair.
I'm holding the hair, and it's all
tie.
tan or whatever. It's that weird tan color that I was into for a month, and it said
That's
I
the
Can't.
one. Yeah, I think that's the picture that was on the shirt, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly right.
Because that's like the most flattering picture of you probably
Thank you, my goodness.
ever.
Jesus, I'm gonna go. I gotta go finish that album right now. Put that out. Okay, gotta get that on store shelves, baby.
Exactly. I mean, it's already on T-shirts.
Yeah. Now, how much of an asshole would I be if I never put that album out? If I sold T-shirts for almost never did. Maybe I'll do that. That sounds kind of fun.
I mean, it could just be a T-shirt. It could just be a Frostyn
That's
T-shirt.
true. It's true. Maybe
And it
maybe
just
it
says
will
I
be.
can't because it's relatable.
God, isn't it though? Jesus,
Yeah.
that's so relatable. So,
But
but that's what happened to that. So maybe someday that'll come out. But for the meantime, there's this one, and I did just take a picture last week that I was like, that could be an album. So maybe I'll do that one too.
Is it the one you posted on Instagram with the window and the cup? No,
Window
that
and
one's
the
really
cup?
good. The one
I gotta really
I
pay more
put it
attention.
on your Last FM page here.
Yeah, send it in the Discord so I can see it.
Last
It's like me looking
FM
real
/
nasty
music.
in a horrible hotel room.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Here,
No,
you
that's
can
a
kinda
good
see
picture.
it. It's not that one.
That's like some kind of math teacher modeling picture, though. I don't need that. That's not an album cover. That's way too flattering. I feel like you don't want that.
Fair enough.
It's like it's just this nasty picture of me in this hotel room that I didn't even sleep in because it was so gross, and it just felt like an album cover to me. So I think my friend took it actually. No, I didn't take it, but.
Did you take this one? What all you?
God, which ones? So I took the one of the Dock of Love album cover was when I uploaded the music to the distribution website. They had like a stock album cover making thing. So that was just a picture that was there, and I put the text. So that's why it looks so horrible, but it's good. And I think the rest of them, I took all those pictures. I took all the like with a tripod and stuff. I took all the rest of those pictures. Yeah, I think that's right. And then I do all the editing on the the purple If You Tell the Truth compilation one.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff. So I don't think
If You Tell the Truth has a really good cover.
Thanks.
I like that cover.
Yeah,
a lot.
me
It's
too.
super cool.
There's a real vibe to it. I don't remember all the singles. The singles, I don't.
I Got No Internet, Sexual Ghost. This is how it's gonna be. Technically, Power. I think you released it after, but you kind of called it a single, I only know that because me and my friend were talking
Right,
about it.
yeah.
Cause we were like, yeah. There's a couple more. Oh, I've been eyeing you. Which you changed the name of that one.
What?
Kind of.
When?
What do you change? Because you put it used to be I've been eyeing you, but then you changed it to just I've been eyeing you, like the word I've.
I guess it still has
been
I in
eyeing
it,
you.
so it still counts. But okay.
Yeah.
I think the problem
yeah.
is so many of them are different depending on the streaming service, because I'll forget how I wrote it on one and I don't go check for some reason. So I'll just write it again. Or like a lot of them are stylized in a way that like Spotify won't let you stylize them. So like power is capital P, lowercase O-W-E, capital R.
And then the capital
but
R, yeah.
Spotify doesn't let you do that. So there's a
I
lot
don't
of
even think
stuff like
it's Spotify.
that.
I think it's just DistroKid.
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
probably
so much
what it
stuff
is.
on
Yeah, you're probably
Spotify
right.
where it's like stylized all weird
Totally.
like that, and DistroKid is just like no.
Yeah, it's probably
it's
because
kind
I
of
bet there's
annoying.
some weird obscure store out there that won't take it, so that this
That won't- yeah.
DistroKid is like, oh, we've got to, comply with everyone's rules and regulations.
Yeah.
So I would
That's
bet that it's that.
unfortunate.
You use DistroKid?
I think it might be
I
Apple
assume?
Music. I do use DistroKid, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
It's good. It's really good.
I love. I mean,
Uh,
DistroKid's fantastic. I was on TuneCore for Dock of Love initially, and it's just worse. So that's why I had to put out Dock of Love Plus, because that's on DistroKid, so that I could delete. Dock
so
of
you
Love
could take
from,
out. Oh,
so I wouldn't have
that's
to pay
why.
$40 a
Okay.
year for hosting Dock of Love.
$40 a year.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Per album too.
Actually, I guess DistroKid is. Oh my God, they
Yeah.
charge per album.
Yeah. 20.
Oh my
It might be
God,
20
yeah.
a year per album, but either way, it's per album. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's dumb. DistroKid is like, they're giving it away.
Top
I feel
quality,
like it's too
yeah.
cheap.
It is too cheap. Don't tell them, but that's definitely. They got
Right,
great
it's not
stuff,
too
so.
cheap, but it's
Too expensive.
Yeah,
DistroKid.
it's too much.
expensive.
It costs too much.
Yeah, definitely
Right.
is. Man, I can't believe that thing's still recording.
Same. It's been
Bless.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else.
Don't forget to
Anything
plug
else
your
you
own
wanna talk
music
about?
before we go. Jesus.
I forgot. We don't want to party. That's the other one. Or we. How do you
this
say
is
that?
true. Yeah, we
title
don't want.
name?
Funny story
It's
about
weird.
that.
We down one.
Yeah,
to
we don't
party.
want to party. Because it's such a stupid name. It's like, I think that's what it is. It's when the name is really stupid. I kind of want to stylize it so that I feel less bad about how stupid it is. And that's all that was. Like if I stylize it for some reason in my mind, it like becomes cooler. But the funny story about that one is that's the only song I ever had played. Because it was the only song I ever tried to have played, but it's the only song I ever played that was ever played on the radio when I was in Minneapolis. It was played on the radio in Minneapolis because I knew someone who worked somewhere and did something. And the DJ was this woman who obviously didn't know anything about me. I just knew someone who worked there. And the way she tried to pronounce that song title was Hoot. It was so funny. I wouldn't be able to repeat it for you, but I remember just losing it when she tried to pronounce that. That's pretty good.
Wow. Was it the single version? I guess it probably wouldn't be the album
Yes,
version.
it was the single version. It was the worst single version, and no, I will not put the single version back on Spotify.
I can't disagree with that. That the album version is just better.
Album version kicks.
I love that intro. It's so
exactly.
cool.
That's what does it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. The rest of the singles, I guess, weren't different on the album, but
No, they were.
Kind of sad when
it's
you
more
took them
subtle,
all off.
but
Really?
but they
It's
were
more subtle.
Sexual Ghost was different. I redid all the drums on Sexual Ghost,
see, I
and
don't
I
listen to
just
that
did a
one much.
remix of This Is How It's Gonna Be. That was mixed a little differently, and I think a couple things were changed. It was like Star Wars Special Edition crap that didn't need to be done that I did anyway.
Yeah.
But they still
That's a
come
good
across. They
comparison.
still come across. So whatever.
Cool. Do I have anything else?
Do you?
I was thinking of something. Oh yeah, are you ever gonna put out that Sexual Ghost Britpop version from the Corona
Oh,
concert?
hell
I still
yeah.
listen to that.
Hell yeah,
I
I really
still
want to
listen
do
to
that.
that. It's
I really,
so good.
I really, really want to do that. It is so good. I might have recorded it, honestly.
I recorded. I have that.
I mean, I
MP3
might have
version.
done like a full-on.
Oh,
like,
you did a different
done
version?
The whole,
Oh,
just
really?
like sat down and actually recorded the whole thing. I would love to. I really would love to get in the habit of having new versions of old songs on new albums. I think that's a really fun idea. But it's, I just get carried away. I'm only one person.
Yeah.
I can only do so much.
Well,
so
I'll
we'll
just
see.
constantly remind you about it.
Do that.
I want that to come
do
out
that.
more than anything.
Do that. Maybe
I've
I'll put
sampled
that.
it.
and I'll put. Did you really?
Yeah, I sampled it
did
in
you
a
send
song
that to me yet?
for this. No, it's on Spotify. I can just send it
Yeah,
to you.
you definitely should. What's it called?
Cause it's here. I'll just send the link. It's there's like a certain section of the song where like the oh my god.
Nothing. I didn't see anything fall over that time. Oh, yes, I did.
It fell off the laptop that time. That's why. This is new. But this I there was like this indie game jam game that I was, when my friends was like, hey, you want to make music for it? I was like, sure. And so this song, I used a bunch of like loops from like Loop Masters, the Blessed website. And there's a part. It's not, the sample doesn't come in till about. Let me listen to it real quick.
I like this part of this video is now just us having a conversation part.
Which is that's fine.
No, totally.
It's the Frostyn and Crystal Casino podcast.
Oh, yeah.
1:16ish is when the sample comes in, but that was just like another section of the song. I just thought this is gonna sound cool.
I gotta try and find you on Tidal. Hold on, because I'm an asshole who uses Tidal.
Tidal?
Yeah, Tidal. Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know Jay-Z's bad streaming service.
It's good actually, but if I start to defend it, I sound like a real tool. Let's see.
A shill.
I
think it's on Tidal. Yeah, it's on Tidal.
Definitely. So. If you use DistroKid, it's definitely on Tidal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, this sounds awesome. The sound on this is fantastic. I'm gonna have to overlay this. We're gonna have to make sure this is actually playing.
Really?
Yeah, just the production on this is crazy.
Thank you. It's mostly samples.
Where's the guitar? See, and this is the thing. I was, secretly hoping that this would come up in the conversation. But as a last point, I wanted to remark about how it's so wild to me. Because you know how when you listen to stuff that you've made, because you know how you made it, it automatically just sounds kind of worse or sort of amateurish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that feeling of listening to someone else's song, like when I listened to this song, Autopilot, that you just, I didn't get to the part wherever the Sexual Ghost sample was, but just listening to the sound of it, you hear a song and it's like magic. You're just like, I literally have if you told me to make what I was just listening to, I wouldn't even know where to start, right? And it's that, I imagine, it's the same thing anytime you listen to anyone else's music, but when you listen to your own, it's like it has none of that magic because you know exactly oh, that was just this guitar and that was just I did this, but
it's so all the parts and everything.
I wouldn't even know how to begin to get to the point that I could make something, especially the whole sampling thing is above. The only thing I've ever even done any sampling with is the hook on If You Stay, which is our own hook. It wasn't taken from anywhere. So that's still such a magical mystery to me. Every time I've listened to anything that you've done, or, there's plenty of people who do it, I suppose, but anything that you've done, it's always this just world of it reminds you how much more there is to learn about making music, There's just so much to it. It's wild.
I mean, sampling is probably the easiest thing. I mean,
you say that, but
more creative with samples. Madlib is amazing.
Yeah, I guess you can get creative, but to me, the idea of modifying and mixing a sample to make it sound how you want is so much crazier and more complicated to me than just I'll just grab the guitar and play the thing that I want,
Yeah, and it's the reverse for me.
And
too.
Both of them just sound totally different. You can't get that sampling sound playing it on a guitar unless you literally like you've got guitar samples in this song, right? This Autopilot song. There's these guitar samples. Unless you went through the trouble of writing the whole guitar song and then sampling it yourself, you wouldn't be able to get that sound just playing it. It's this whole new magical realm of music making that is just an insane, fantastic mystery to me,
Yeah, I mean, not only is it a new realm of music making, it's also a new realm of legal troubles, which that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing.
What's the law gonna do?
I don't want to complain about that on the interview, but I definitely have some strong feelings about
Who cares?
how we handle sampling in the law of music right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just generally lawsuits with music are just so terrible half the time.
Yeah.
Especially now, you hear about like people suing people over like a melody and stuff,
right,
or like a chord progression. And I mean, they lose, but it's still like, I don't know.
Right. The idea that we're only one court case away from like totally changing that precedence, is not a happy thought. But you can always just do stuff illegally. We've all been on the Pirate Bay, like whatever.
Half of the stuff on my Spotify has samples that are not legal. But also, like, who's
allegedly, hypothetically,
allegedly, hypothetically, like if I had music on Spotify that was illegally sampled, I would think in my head, who's gonna come after me? I have like 20 monthly listeners.
That's
like
that's the cool thing, right? It's like if it ever gets to the point that someone's coming after you, that means you've gotten big enough that somebody cares, which means you can probably just be fine. You've probably made it at that point. So it's really a win-win situation.
Yeah, and I mean there are like bot accounts. I started making a video about this and then I forgot. But there's I found this gigantic amount of bot accounts run by presumably the same person that uploads songs from other people, from usually unknown artists, and just farms streams on them. And that's definitely worse than sampling.
That's way worse than sampling.
That it's really bad, and sometimes they speed it up.
That's basically thievery.
It is literally thievery. And I found out how much they speed it up by, too, so I slow it down and Shazam it, and I find the song every time. I, busted it open, but I just can't be bothered to work on a video about it. But,
yeah, I wonder if there's even anything to do, unless the actual, rights holder wants to get involved, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I messaged one of the artists on Facebook about it, and he, sent a claim out. But, yeah, I don't know why we're talking about that, so I'm sorry for veering the conversation off.
It was a 30-minute discussion about the album and a 15-minute podcast about copyright in the music industry. That's what we're selling
listen to I want you to hear the sample.
Let me hit play again. What part did you say it was in?
It's 117 is where I found it. It might loop again. I think that's where it is, though, 117. I don't know if you even remember the melody, but it's the main melody sample in the background of that part.
See, now you're making me feel like I don't even know my own song because I'm listening to this. I was like, what?
You don't remember that?
Hold on.
Here, I'll send.
Dead ass. I don't even remember. Is that
I think
in one
you
of my
improvised
songs?
that.
Probably. See, and that's probably the problem. Is it was just improvised and then I didn't remember it.
I downloaded the.
You know what? I totally do now because it was only in that one Corona concert, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Where I was sitting down with the guitar.
Yeah, and
yeah. Okay. I feel it. That's I would have assumed that was a professional sample. That sounds fantastic in there. That's a very nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nicely cut and produced little bit there. Man, you really do have this whole thing. You got this whole sexual ghost all. You can listen to it on your iPod.
I found it. It's 350-ish, and that sexual ghost thing. That's where it's at. I just thought, you know what? This would be a cool thing to sample.
Yeah, that'd
be a nice little.
That was an excellent use of that there. That's
Yeah.
Snuck right in.
Yeah. Well. I'm Crystal Casino on Spotify. Go check out my Spotify.
Hey,
there.
Plug it.
We figured it out. I'm plugging it, but that's all I'm doing. I had a whiteboard at my job. We had a whiteboard at my job, and I don't know if I've talked about this in Discord or anything, but the job, I work at a video store, and it's been closing. It's actually closed now, but it was closing down about a month ago. And so when it started closing down, I wrote. We have a little whiteboard in the area, the employee area, and I just wrote my SoundCloud and my Spotify on
Smart.
there. There's only 3 of us that work here, so really it's not reaching much, but
yeah, but you gotta get to the streets. You gotta scrape it where you.
Now I have the whiteboard.
Scrape it where you can scrape it. There you go. Put that up.
I erased it, but I have that whiteboard now. I took it, and I took a barcode scanner too.
Hey, allegedly.
Well, hey, they let me. So
okay, well, there you go.
On Thursday, I'm gonna go and try and see if I can take the security cameras. Because
don't tell people that.
Okay.
This has been a great
Alright,
interview,
everyone.
everybody. Thank you. Adios before we incriminate ourselves. You're going to be in prison next week. By the time this comes out, people are going to see you on the news.